3/18.
As a
There'd be
3/8
timber
2010.
exemptions on that too. That wouldn't be a true bad.
No, just for the record, he has yet to pay taxes on this. He's 2 years in arrear. And that was as of, what, 4 days ago? And I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the news, but he's been in the news because he hasn't paid the taxes in California either. So,
Rick told me that he had paid, he was up to date on his taxes.
well, Ingram's just asked. She went to the courthouse and
4
asked
days
about
ago.
4 days
4
ago.
days ago, okay, this is the last week when
He has paid, he did pay the taxes in Clearwater County, but it's only a tiny amount of acres there. He has not, this is Idaho County.
I, okay, but. now I-
38,000,
All right, so he's mistaken on that. I'll let it go.
38,827.25 acres in Idaho County, taxes not paid. 2 years.
Hmm.
So,
Got
and he
1
can
year.
lose the land at 3 years.
We've got
One more year.
Well, December, coming up. So
Probably
it's
pay
not
it by
that
then.
far
He's
away.
just hoping that we please get this all dealt with by then.
But he hasn't paid him
So
in
is there
California
anybody,
either, so-
what, like with Crapo and Rich and are they, what are they saying on this? Are they,
We haven't been able to get him to come out and say it.
Haven't
so
been
have
out.
they ever been to, have they ever been to one of these meetings?
No.
Their
They've been
representatives,
invited.
their representatives have.
That don't do
appeared
you a
at
bit of
several
good.
meetings,
That
but-
does you no
and-
good at all.
And alluded to their interest in coming out against the exchange, but wouldn't really take a stand. And so this is one of the reasons that we really want to supply them with this letter, to force them to make a statement and come out and say.
So where are you at with your counties? I mean, you got Idaho County opposed to it, is Clearwater opposed to it?
Idaho County,
Idaho's on the
fence. What Idaho County is saying is they prefer that the exchange take place within their county, because they don't want to lose the tax rolls. And the biggest, so that the whole checkerboard is blocked up, so part of it's Forest Service and part of it's county. That's what Idaho County, as of last October, when I talked to an Idaho County commissioner, that's what they said.
We don't know how they stand.
And we don't know how they stand currently. Clearwater County is two county commissioners for it and one against. Latah County, as we know, is all against. And you guys have come out before and said that you were against.
Clearwater, though, 2 of their commissioners that were against it are now looking at it differently, is what we've been hearing, is they're kind of going, oh. Because now they're looking at lost recreational revenue and,
People, the residents
People
of
want
Elk
people
City
in
are
there.
not happy.
yeah, people in Elk City.
And they're hearing about it.
That's their livelihood, is having tourism. Well, people aren't gonna go if they don't have their land. Me for one.
I would say, when you use the word Idaho County's against it, you would say 3 officials.
3 officials.
You're not talking about the population there, because they, in some counties, they don't give a hoot with the people. But the people probably are against it. I'm guessing.
There are people against it, yes,
Yeah.
particularly around Elk.
We're talking about only 3 people.
Elk City.
Particularly around Elk City.
Because there's some land, national forest land around Elk City that would be exchanged away. And that's where some people like to go fishing, up on the American River, so.
So there's a hot spot at least of discontent but the county commissioners were worried. Of course,
I
the
think
same
they-
county commissioner said that as of last October, he had not paid his taxes.
No.
But we have not recent.
I believe the Idaho County Commission did come out against the exchange as it is currently proposed.
Okay.
Isn't that
Yeah.
correct, as it is
I
currently
think that's
proposed?
probably appropriate.
But every time you exchange that stuff, and it goes into even the Forest Service, I mean, the county suffer, any county suffer. And the longer, it's like, Benoit County's opposed to nation conservative too. I mean, and this base keeps going away, and the management, the Forest Service is not managing the ground properly anymore. you know, and there was a push years ago for that to go back to the states. It's never went there in any segment of that. And counties are dying on the vine with this non-taxable ground that's happening in it. And it's a lot of the counties. And, you know, it's like us, you know, we get all of Kootenai and Spokane and all them people directly in our county, you know. And the more of that that's tied up, they have nowhere to go. So we're, you know, we'd like to see that opened up more rather than restricted more.
Well, I think one reason that there's such a broad range of support for not trading this more local land away is that it has been managed for multiple uses. I know that there's been logging right up behind us. It's been logged, it's been managed for road use, it's been managed for all kinds of things, and people are using it. That was the thing, sitting with Kathy at some other little thing last summer, and the amount of people that come and look at a map and say, well, I hunt there, or I go fishing there, oh, my friend lives there, does he realize that he's gonna have this crop, right, you know? People are using the land, and that's, I guess, why we've gotten so much support, because people are saying, well, one of the county commissioners in Latah, point blank asked a WPT spokesman, can't remember, was it Brian Disney or?
I asked him when I met with him out
Okay,
here.
sure.
And I said, well, it's very simple, you're willing to put a covenant in there so the public can continue to access the land, right? And he said, no. And so, no,
You can't keep the public out of it. They have no place to go.
that's right.
They
And
have,
the biggest
they
challenge,
cannot keep doing that, and if, every time this gets in somebody's real control,
right,
people
you
can't-
understand that our biggest challenge in the future is places for people to get access to.
absolutely, and it's getting worse instead of better.
Southern Idaho, in Boise, Canyon County, it's
Well-
really getting bad.
Just as an illustration, 30 years ago, there were 15, 20, 25 roads leading off Sanders Road between Mida and Highway 95. Now I think there are 3 that aren't gated. And if the land exchange goes through, the whole access to West Ennis and all points south will go through this and be shut off from public use.
And my comment on the Nature Conservancy is not to get into Nature Conservancy's land, but what we've done is use them as an intermediary organization. And in Pacimaroy, the goal was there we needed to protect riparian habitat because of steelhead and salmon considerations. And so they were able to buy large lots of land, get the riparian property into public ownership, so, and then the agriculture land, and resell that off to adjacent farmers. And so we were able to accomplish the objective of protecting the riparian zone, and everybody was happy with that. And sometimes, because government is slow acting, an organization like that, or even, and there's others, is able to act, quickly purchase the land, and then the government can go through the motions of financing it later. So.
The thing that upset me the most, I guess, is when Tom Riley and this timber company had gone over to Elk River and made a presentation about the proposal. This was, I think, in October. And they had a big map that was about 4 feet by 4 feet, and they were talking about the exchange. But they didn't have Elk River even designated on the map. So you couldn't see, and it's still in the city hall, in the city office over in Elk River, and it's there. The exchange property is there, but Elk River isn't designated on it, so you really can't tell where Elk River is on that map. And they had gone in, Tom Riley and the company, and told the Elk River people that it isn't anywhere around Elk River. And there was no property, and the mayor was only concerned about his watershed. And they were telling him that it was all south of town, it was all south towards Georgia, there wasn't anything that was around Elk River. And the maps that I had seen at that hearing, that was up here at the state offices, but I wasn't able to get in, but the maps that I had seen were totally different from what they were led to believe in Elk River. It was the unwillingness of the Forest Service and the timber company to share the truth of what they were actually exchanging with people that were being affected by it. That really got me to start contacting Tom Trail about saying that there's something going on here of this exchange that they're not being truthful about. And only then did Elk River, and it was December before Elk River folks began to realize that it was Porcupine Creek and some of these areas, rinky-dink campground, and all the areas that they really were familiar with were part of the exchange, and we're starting to get close to it. But there's still a lot of people in Elk River that are aware. They are not, have no idea about this exchange. People are pretty much close to it, but the public just isn't being told what the exchange is all about.
Don't you think you ought to reach out to the 10 northern counties, all 10 of them? Because what we've found in Benoit, and you read the papers all the time, you found out that you can reach out to Boundary County, and they have a problem in areas, and we support them, they support us. We might want to look at the 10 counties opposing this. All 10 counties.
Shoshone County.
You know, Shoshone will oppose it, Benoit will oppose it.
Shoshone has some in their county.
Yeah.
Shoshone's got Mullen, right?
There's land.
The city of Mullen had no idea that they had land involved, and one of the parcels is their watershed. They had absolutely no idea. I stopped in at City Hall and they were just completely shocked. But I haven't had a chance to go meet with them again. They had
Well, you
absolutely
need to
no idea.
notify those other counties, because you'd be surprised the support you get from the 10 northern counties.
Would it come better from us, or would it come better from another county?
It'll come better from us.
All of us, really.
Yeah.
We would really
That's what
appreciate,
we all need to be involved in, notifying everybody everywhere. Because the three of us, we need like to go times 3.
Well,
There's not enough of us.
You can see there's been people from Elk River working, and there's been people down in Elk City
That's
working, and
Carolina
there's been,
County over there.
yeah, and there's been people like Harvey working, and there's been, and we've started talking to each other. And lots of people here.
That's what we're doing now. We're trying to get the 10 northern counties to start meeting more together. We were five counties we meet all the time. But we're trying to bring in this other 5 counties and start, because we have a lot of things goes on that we disagree with, and we're struggling with it on different things that go on. To me, this is a no-brainer. The people don't want it. When the people don't want it, as a commissioner, that's a simple thing. No.
So who's going to facilitate getting a joint statement or agreement or whatever?
We'll call Shoshone.
Who's going to do that?
We'll do it.
You're going to do that? Okay.
I wonder, I have a suggestion. Since we already have this letter, and we really want to be able to get it out, to get the support of the congressional delegation, maybe if you had the letter, because we haven't really got that many county commissioners to sign on to the letter. John Allen from Canada.
They won't, the letter's pretty hard to get commissioners to sign on to. You need to get,
They need to have word to mouth.
you need to get a group and get them together and let them and then you hash it out, give me a reason why you don't wanna do this. And, cause
That's
we.
why you're here.
So Jack, if you can set it up, we can bring all the info
Or get
to
one.
you, because we've got all those displays in the back. John did unbelievable work on these.
And I'm really
Those
surprised
displays
at Idaho
explain-
County, because Idaho County has been pretty much in line with us. And I'm
No.
surprised about that.
I think it's, they don't know everything that's going on. Last time Brian Disney went down to meet with them, they kicked him out.
Yeah.
He was there about 5 minutes and they told him where the door was. It was recorded, don't let it hit you in the butt.
It's basically kind of threat.
So they're not getting the whole story.
Well, they have figured out that they said.
Yeah.
How about setting up, let's say, a website for the 10 northern counties, be able to have their input, that's pretty easy to do these days.
They've got a website started, it's on that page with all the contacts.
Yeah, all of them do what it
If we could get a meeting set up with them, we can bring the stuff and show them what's going on, because all those boards explain it really well. And we've got our handouts that we put together. Yeah,
What is the role of the state? I mean, we've talked about federal, we've talked about
Well-
counties, we've talked about local, but what is the state doing in that direction?
we'd love to know, Shirley.
Could you tell us some of the stuff who Brian Disney is?
Brian Disney was general counsel for Western Pacific.
No, he's not Joe, that's Andrew Hayes.
Oh,
Andrew Hayes is
He's
the
the
general
forester.
counsel, we've
Okay.
spoken to him.
Brian Disney.
Brian Disney calls himself a forester, and he called all these lands in this entire exchange fingers and toes of little public significance.
It's just helpful to figure out who the players are.
Yeah, Brian Disney.
Brian Disney, Andrew Hayes, and Tim Lissick,
That's Andy Hall.
and Hawes, yes.
I know.
I wanted to say that name
I
wrong.
might tell you that I recommended to Andy Hall one time, we were talking on the phone, he called me as well, not specific about this, but we got a survey process on the road.
Oh.
I said, I got some advice for you, you didn't ask for it, I'm gonna tell you. You need to get out of this loop here, because you're gonna get a bad reputation. Long hesitation. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. He married my daughter's best friend in high school. That's how
I asked him how he could raise children and work for someone like that. I said, you know, the moral standards.
Anyway.
So
Yeah,
what,
I asked this question again.
question, right, what is the role of the state?
What is the role of the state?
Gary?
Well, the role of the state is of your state elected representatives. I'm Tom and Shirley have sent a letter. They threatened to sue us all. We referred it to the Attorney General. That was the end of that. And
Hey,
then-
Gary, could you?
And then I and Tom turned around and wrote another letter to our congressional delegation, telling them, oh, just by the way, we, you know, that was after they sued it. They threatened to sue us because I guess they wanted to shut up. And so we wrote another letter to the congressional delegation saying, oh, by the way, we still, you know, are opposed to the exchange. And so, but I've been frustrated by the fact that our congressional delegation would not take a position. And so what I hear Harvey saying is that maybe they will. And so I think that the first thing we ought to do is get this out as quick as possible, and then work on getting the county delegation to back, 10 northern counties to back it up with whatever, a memo or some kind of communication.
How often do the counties get together?
Well, we just met here, the 10 just met here not too long ago, what, a couple of weeks or 2 weeks
2 or
ago.
3 weeks ago, and every county was well represented.
Well, I
Idaho
don't
Association
know.
of County meeting,
I don't know where the Logging Association might be too.
That would be a question.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's all set up.
Well, we had a constitutional amendment that was proposed and actually passed the Senate and voted against it to allow the sale of larger parcels of state land. Currently, it's restricted to a section, or something like that. And like Bonner County, well, the timber industries were opposed to it because selling those off because obviously state lands are, important to the timber industry in the state, and then it going in the house. I don't think you even had a hearing over there. Because of the Intermountain Forest Association opposing it. And so, that was one of those amendments that what I saw in January was one thing, and when it came out in March, wow, they sure changed that, And to expand it to allow sales of state lands on a wholesale basis, which I don't want. It's the old sagebrush rebellion, is what it was, that got their fingers in it. Believe that the state land should be in private ownership rather than public ownership, and allow expansion and sale of them. And then that goes back to, the issue, well, where are people gonna go if we sell off all the public lands? And so.
And by the way, the state does a great job of managing their land, timberland.
So in that respect.
I agree with you.
All I can say is the Intermountain Forest Association opposed that amendment because of the fact that state lands are timber supply for them. And I can't see why they would want to, oppose this also, because, this Roundup fever does supply.
Well, they're kind of using the school deal on you, is what they're doing, which it don't hold water if you really look at it, so.
Well, you're talking about, we want sustained yield, and so money for the schools will do the long term.
But they're
and we
talking
want it
about
right
selling
now.
ground,
That's the
trading ground
difference.
that's,
Well, one of the basic issues,
They were gonna sell it.
yeah, which is,
one of the basic issues in this is we're not being told how they're going to evaluate these local lands that they want to exchange. And the best we can tell is they judge the bare land and merchantable timber and the cost to the mill. Well, I'm guessing that's somewhere around $300 an acre. Potlatch has been trying to sell land all around me for $3,000 an acre up after they log it, which, I really would like to know, how are they going to evaluate that land? What is the value you're going to attach to these loose lands? Because the upper Lochsa checkerboard is very high elevation, very slow growing timber, steep. Much of these Palouse lands are very productive, much better soil. On my land, if I want to keep a place free of trees, I got to mow it every 3 years because trees just come up. If you don't keep them down, you've got a forest. These lands are so much more productive and they're much better lands, and that won't have anything to do with how they value it. And the roads and all that sort of thing aren't figuring in
and people
either.
don't want it.
Yeah.
People don't want the exchange, so
No.
it's a moot question. You just gotta organize the right people. They don't want it.
The only people who can, Brazil can say purchase, but the only people who can really make the money available for the purchase is Congress. And so we have to put pressure on our congressional delegation. That's it. We have to have enough broad-based support that they believe we're serious, that all the people that are involved are serious.
In order to do that, does the leadership best come from groups such as this, or from county commissioners, or from state representation?
All of them.
I think it
Yeah.
does, but I think, but you can't have 3 leaders. So I'm saying, is I'm wondering if Gary and
Well, your commissioners represent the people.
people,
Yeah.
that's true, but they also, so does the legislators. But I'm
And
just saying-
commissioners in the district,
How much does the
Gary don't
legislators get
represent
around
us.
to the people?
but he does in a sense, and broadswords in our district,
We need to.
she's gonna think how we're thinking, if she likes her job, and it just goes right on down the line. So it's,
What I was suggesting is to set up a
But
meeting.
all the legislators are going to change.
But
next fall.
Sure.
And most of the county, only one of the county commissioners changes. So the county commissioners are the people that are gonna be around for this next while.
Well, there's not much change in the legislature.
That's true.
Actually, for history.
Very
I think a suggestion over here that we get the letter out as soon as possible is great. How about we just setting a deadline Tuesday next week? That's when we send it. Anybody that wants to sign on it, go by then. And then I really like the other suggestion here that the counties will begin to approach the other counties, again, to build that opposition. And again, I want to thank Gary Schroeder, Ringo, and Tom Trail for, at the state level, organizing opposition to this as well. We work on those 3 tracks. I think that's maybe where we need to go.
So how long do you think we'll get the letter to the congressional delegation to see some results?
I think they're gonna need to hear from the counties too.
Yeah.
They will definitely have to.
I think they'll have to.
Yeah, you won't get them to do nothing if you don't.
But that gives us, those of us here, the entree to go meet with them, and then the counties can meet with them.
Yeah.
The state
And it may-
legislators can meet with them, and then that's, when they
Yeah.
have 3 meetings about the same thing.
That's gonna start making us hear something.
Did our county
You know-
commissioners here, you got us a copy of the letter?
If you don't, we'll make sure you do. You're the people that probably need to go home with it.
Could you share that with the other commissioners?
Yeah, we'll share that with them, but what we're honestly gonna do? We're opposed to this. In our county, we need your help. You want help in Boundary County? You got it. You want help in
There's a little bit, there's also a little bit in Kootenai County up near Spirit Lake,
There's
Kootenai.
and there's a little bit in Shoshone. It's
I think we
It's very
can,
spread out.
unless there's something I don't see, I think we can get their support.
And if you have a
Kootenai
meeting
might
set up, we'd be
change.
glad to help out.
And if it does, that might not be good because we have a relationship with them. But if that doesn't change, we'll get,
I think the fact that when we were communicating to the congressional delegation at that particular area, when they tried to stop us from doing it, shows that they know that the congressional connection is very, very important, because that's the people who can influence.
They need to
Decisions on
want
the
to be
national
reelected.
Well,
Listen to people.
they're on the right committees and so on and so forth, so. And that's the key, somebody in positions that oversee, the key people can encourage decisions one way or the other. And that has to be done in Washington, D.C.